So, what would you do if you knew that the only one standing in your way was you? What would you do if you knew that you are on your way to what was planned before a time became a watch on your arm? What would you do if you knew that the dreams that you have sometimes at night, that the signs that you see, that the songs you have on your head that keeps on playing the same line? What would you do if you knew that they were not just coincidence, but if you knew that they were actually your higher self trying to get in contact with you? If you knew this, would you then dare to break out of the state as a zombie, if I may be so direct, or to break out as a slave? Just a second, the network connection is poor. Okay, it's okay. And let's see if it helps. The slave condition, the slave of the Western principles. Would you dare to break free of this ordinary thing, this world that you were programmed into being a part of in a special way, to return to you? Would you dare? Would you be brave enough to return to that innocence that we have when we are born? Welcome to this live program after my 7 days of silent retreat. What is this program about, other than me asking you philosophical questions? Well, I was for 7 days in a room, in a silent retreat, in an apartment, at a special center, of course, where I was located in a section, the retreat center section, where the only thing going on in this section is silence. And people come there, only men or women, never men and women at the same time. The whole point is to be alone with yourself, with no television, of course, with no telephones, with no computers, no impressions to be made upon you from the outside world, but only silence, only you, alone, without a watch even. I chose not to have a watch. And what happens when you don't have a watch is you come back into your own natural rhythm. So who do you meet in the silence? Who do you meet when you don't feed yourself with anything? When you don't stimulate yourself with anything? Who do you meet in the silence? First you meet the noise in your head, the thoughts, the blabbering, the constant noise that we have collected throughout our lives. Then you start cleaning these thoughts. They disappear. And you realize that these thoughts are not you. You realize that something is dying inside of you. Something must die when you sit there all alone, with no clock, no television, no nothing. I live like that almost now, in the forest, until I return to my family in Tokyo, my other family in Tokyo. So I also live like that, not only in the silent retreat, but what you meet is your ego. And then you might ask, so is this ego, my thought, is that me? Well, it's a part of you until you choose to let it go. And then who do you meet when the thoughts stop? When the nagging stops? When the emotions stop pouring out because you have cleaned them? Because that is what you do when they come up. So instead of fighting when you feel like crying or when you feel sad, if you allow yourself, just like in that silent retreat, that instead of eating to feel good, drinking to feel good, watching another television program to feel good, calling a friend to talk, not to feel bad, if you dare to face the pain inside of you, the ego, the nagging, the blabbering, and you just ask it gently, just as I learned from a very special, heartful organization, just to meet it as a friend, or just as a visitor that comes knocking on your door, and ask it to leave, and ask it to be cleaned and to be cleared, and stop identifying with these thoughts. Then who do you meet when the thoughts stop? That is the question. There's something you meet in the silence that cannot be described in words, that must be felt, that must be asked, a question you must ask. Close your eyes and then feel. Stop anticipating mental information, but see what happens when you feel it. So that's one side that you meet that I will not try to describe with words. I will let it up to yourself to see that one part. The other part I will tell you about. Who you meet is your higher self. It's my third time on a silent retreat, and I live my life like that right now. I've done so for a while, off and on. Of course, it's more difficult when I live in Tokyo, or as I've been living in the city, but the higher self is there. And then one might add, well, science doesn't tell us anything about our higher selves. What do you mean? What higher self? Well, if you are in doubt of what I'm saying, then remember that are we even entitled somehow to be in doubt until we actually tried it for ourselves? Just a second. My phone is ringing. Try it for yourself. Just a second, let me take this. So, during this silent retreat, there's different things. Besides from the death of my ego, just as the trees are dying, that's why I planned it like this. Nature is dying. It's a time of season for all of us. Actually, also if you're into astrology, where the ego is dying, we're going into another section of the seasons. Everything works in cycles in this life, right? So, as I went through the 7 days of silence, the only thing I was entitled to have was a pen and a diary to write down the essentials of what came to me as a part of the clearing and the cleaning process of the mental noise, the ego, the complications, the old wounds, anything that we store up in our busy lives where we constantly stimulate ourselves. When you write it down, it's easier to let it go through that process. But at the same time, different messages came to me from my higher self. And if you don't already know, I work as a channel now. I finally found the courage to break out. Poor network connection. Oh, it's okay. It's on again. To break out of the fear of being judged. Because one of the things that I've learned not only this in this silent retreat is that true freedom, but also in the others. The true freedom comes when you're no longer afraid of being judged by others, but when you dare to stand with an open heart, trusting that you are perfectly fine just as you are, following your heart. Look at all the hearts I have here. When you dare to follow your heart and to be you and be free from what others think or how they judge you, that's also the moment where you often stop judging others, which is such a beautiful thing. Because then you start realizing that it was just a mental noise of your ego creating drama, that behind it all, everyone is beautiful as hell. No, not as hell, as heaven. So this noise being gone, I was able to receive, or as I call it, download information from my higher self. Because truly deep down inside, we hold all answers within us. We don't need to go to psychiatrists, shrinks, astrologers like me, channels, anyone. Basically, we have all answers available to us through our higher selves. If we let go of some of all the noise and start following our hearts, as I always write, you've probably seen that the only comment I always make on everything I do is don't follow trends. Trends being the world, the outside world, follow your heart. Because when you do so, you're free to be you. And you're free to see others for who they really are, without judging them. You're free to see that we are here in life, which is the most beautiful playground, but we are wearing glasses that blinds us to see what a miracle it is to be here. So after the silent retreat, or during the silent retreat, my God, the beauty of just watching a tree losing its leaves, just walking in the forest, just saying hi to my dad, talking on the phone with my partner, texting my bonus son, or seeing a message from a dear, dear friend. Ooh, it stirs up such a beautiful thing in my heart now, because I'm free of all the judgment. And some of the channeling I did was that a very important thing in this world is to see that if we want evolution to take one step up the ladder, if we want that and we want to help this process, we need to find a balance between the material world and the spiritual world. There's an imbalance now. The West, us, I'm speaking from Denmark, even though I also live in Tokyo, but the Western world, and you might look up what that means if you don't know. We have spent thousands of years on developing science, which is amazing. I'm getting 2 new knee operations during the next months. With the camera in my knee and stuff, wow, it wouldn't have been possible if it wasn't for science. So science is an amazing thing. It's a beautiful thing. I'm losing light here, I hope. Yeah, you can still see. So science is a beautiful thing. But we forgot something in this process. But the East didn't. The East kept on the same evolution, just with the spiritual realms. And people worked on themselves spiritually, opened up through looking in. Close your eyes and see. That's what they did. And we need to find a balance between the two if we want evolution to take a step forward. And maybe if we could realize that religion, and I know I might provoke some, but religion divides us. Spirituality unites us. Because spirit, look at the word, think about the word. Spirit, on in Danish, espíritu in Espanol, is nothing to be scared of. It's not someone brainwashing you into anything. I'm guiding you, or I'm not guiding, but I'm hoping to inspire you to go inside, look inside, and ask the silence for answers, your answers. To get in touch with your higher self. Imagine a world where we felt like we are united. We were united. Imagine, just like John Lennon saying, imagine all the people, etc. Imagine, you know that song? Imagine there's no heaven. Such a beautiful song. But imagining something brings it closer to us through the law of attraction. That's quantum physics. So imagine a world. Instead of listening to the television all the time, getting brainwashed by the constant repetition of sensational things that just stimulate you again, brings you out of your heart into your head again. Instead of that, then try to imagine a world where we were united because there was no religion, but only spirit. We still listen to the spirit of ourselves. Stop blinding ourselves. Imagine a world where we were able to think about other people as our brothers and sisters. Just think about that for a second. If we were able to imagine that you were able to consider other people to be your brother and sister, and of course not your wife or your husband or your boyfriend or your lover. If we could do that, because sex has such a power over us. Sex is an immense power tool being used today to control, because that can take over people so strongly. But if we could imagine that everyone were our brothers and sisters, wow, what a liberation. Then we could actually start making conscious choices. Not only that, but of being in the world, in contact with what we came here for, each and every one of us. And then you're like, what does she mean, came here for? Well, I've worked with this for 20 years, intensely, with the spiritual realm. I've received many, many visions. I've dreamt things before they happened. I even dreamt 3 months before our sweet mother got a heart attack. I had a traveling vision where I saw her in the coffin and saw what happened. The choir was singing and everything. That was just one out of many things. I know we have our higher selves, and that's why I always tell you to follow your heart. Hi, Darius. Sorry, I'm not looking that much on the comment section, just to keep my focus here. So hi to everyone that's been so kind to watch this. Your higher self, your soul, we can also call it, is constantly trying to get through to us with messages knocking on our door. Are you listening? Do you even know when it's your intuition and your higher self? Because if you keep ignoring that inner voice and the signals, when it says, no, this person is not good for you, or no, don't go that way, these group of friends are not good, it's not good for you to watch this program, it's not good for you to eat these things, because everything is energy. And what we feed ourselves with is not only the food, but also anything we take in, if it's physical or spiritual food, is constantly creating our energy, our vibrational level. So if your higher self or your intuition, your soul is trying to reach you constantly with messages, and you keep ignoring them and doing it anyways, then you shut down your third eye or your clear vision. You shut down the contact with your intuition. And if we want to change the world, because we can, each and every one of us in our daily lives, we can change the world. I was always told by one of my exes, not that I have many, sounds like it, oh, you can't change the world. You think you can change the world? Of course I can change the world. just like you can, just like we can all change the world. We do that every day when we make conscious choices from the heart, in contact with our higher selves. We create then a path for others to follow along. We open the curtain and say, hey, come along, come with me, let's unite. Hey, David from LA, good morning. Oh yeah, it's morning there. He's also a light worker. And what do I mean by a light worker? Well, we are actually all light workers if we want to be. Light workers are the ones who, out of selflessness, are able to be there for other people and to share unconditional love and compassion with others in your everyday life. And as I said, just doing that, create a portal for others to do so. If you see others as brothers and sisters, then you don't put in the sexual energy that distorts the open heart. And we can create sacred union. Actually, that's what David also works with. A sacred union in our relationships. And because we have to know that everything is energy. If you know anything about quantum physics, if you imagine that everything vibrates in different types of energy, so that if we have guilt, for example, that's a lower vibrating energy. It's getting a little dark in here. We'll take it closer to the light. Like, for example, guilt, fear, doubt, anger, all of these vibrations are very low. Very low. So these things vibrate on a certain level. Many commercials are manipulation. Manipulation comes from a closed heart, not an open heart. That's also a low energy. So when you turn on the telly and start being manipulated by commercials, or a program where people beat each other up with violence and stuff like that, is also low energy. That is food for you. If you watch YouTube, a YouTuber channel where people humiliate each other, or where it's all about laughing of people who aren't this and that, that is also food for your soul. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't do it. I'm just asking if you make conscious choices of what you take in and bring close. Because that energy you bring into all your relationships. And if you want conscious relationships where you can grow together with your partner, so that every time you meet, what we inherit from our parents, because we inherit the things that our parents weren't able to solve psychologically, where they were stuck, we inherit. So our partners will mirror that. Our partners will mirror you. So one of the most important things that I got from this silent retreat is this. Listen carefully, because this information is very important. If you could realize that everyone who come into your life and stand before you, no matter the race, the age, the color, the height, the title they wear, doesn't matter who, if they create a reaction in you, they are mirroring you, and they are there as your teachers. Hi, Louise. Oh, she just went on a 50-day Camino walk in Spain. Amazing. Soul searching. Another one going towards her higher self. So amazing. But everyone we meet are mirrors of ourselves. So before you start blaming, shooting back, defending, attacking, being the victim, taking your energy down, 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 then you can see, oh, shoot, this person is helping me. Then you stop feeling like a victim, because you're like, this person is showing me where to go next on this journey of mine. So everyone who creates trouble inside of you are your helpers. Eat that. If you can start seeing it as that and start making conscious choices, The choice can also be to walk away. Maybe that is the lesson. To set healthy boundaries for yourself. But we can use our partners to grow spiritually towards a more truthful version of yourself. And a more truthful version means a more happy and calm and peaceful version of ourselves. Because as I said, our higher self is constantly trying to get through with answers, but we are not listening. But we can. But how can we hear our higher selves when they guide us? Well, ask the silence. Close your eyes. Ask thoughts to leave. And that may take a while if you haven't cleaned your thoughts. Because you know what? We shower every morning and wash ourselves underneath the arms. But do we wash the mental noise in our heads? No, not necessarily. That's why I encourage people to meditate and do cleaning. To clear out the disturbances and the noise. Because then you can hear your higher self. And when you do and can do that, then all the negative reactions and all the focus that bring you down will not haunt you anymore. Just a second, let me see if I can get on some light. Oh, this one is not working. Okay. So again, as I said, our higher self know all the answers. And the answers I got on this silent retreat was clearing, cleaning, going much deeper into myself, understanding, fulfilling the tests of other people that I have been having over the last period or cycle. I have had a rough time, and that is the greatest gift that I could ever have. So don't feel sorry for me. Be happy for this rough time, because it showed me a side of myself that I can change, and that I already changed. And in doing so, the immediate reaction of the universe was, wow, I got a gift. I got this amazing gift on this silent retreat. And it's so sacred for me that I cannot share it now. I still want to keep it in and feel it. I will share it one day. It's immense. It could even make me start crying now. Something I got from allowing myself to be in this silence. Hi, Maria. Another Maria just joined. But again, it's all about if you want to reach that higher self of yours. And if you want to be able to enjoy the silence and see where it brings you and who you meet there, except from your higher self, you have to experience it for yourself. I will not say who you meet, because it's beyond words. But you have to discipline your mind. You have to discipline your mind, your thoughts. If you're not able to raise your consciousness enough to be aware of when your thoughts take you down old roads, old patterns that no longer serves you, then you'll just keep making the same mistakes, keep attracting the same partner that aren't good for you. Because you haven't learned maybe to put healthy boundaries, because you haven't learned to love yourself, because that is the whole point of doing a silent retreat too. It's showing love to yourself. The greatest love you might be able to give yourself is a clearing and a cleaning like that, a death of your ego and a death of the patterns you inherited from your parents, from society, and a step closer to you. That is self-love. And if we want to be in loving relationships, or deepening our love in our relationships even more, now, how do we do that? That's one very simple answer to how you do that. And we know the answer. That is, of course, self-love. To love yourself, and then you will attract it. Law of attraction again. Everything is energy. So if you vibrate on a low level, you attract low, as I said before. If you're vibrating on a self-loving, high level, you will attract love. But how do we love ourselves? It's not standing in front of the mirror saying, I love you, I love you. Oh, you can do that. Fine by me. It's showing yourself that you are able to say yes and no in your actions at the right crucial times. When your heart is telling you, no, this is not good for you, then you walk away. That is self-love. When your heart is telling you to say, no, I don't want to participate in this bullying this person on my work, in my school, or wherever, that is self-love. To take a break when you need it is self-love. There's so many things you can do to love yourself. Then you will start attracting love. You cannot demand love from others. You can only attract it by changing you, because that is another very, 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 very essential lesson that I got from this retreat. You have to start changing. Always you. Don't tell your partner, change, 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 change. You start with yourself. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. Oh yeah, I'm asking him to change his ways. And no message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make that change. And that was Michael Jackson. And he was right. When you start changing, you will attract love from your loved ones. And then you can start creating sacred relationships. And do you know how to give your partner the greatest gift of all gifts? The greatest gift you can give your partner of all gifts. Listen to this. It's important. Not only your partner, everyone around you. It's by seeing them in the light of the highest potential they can possibly be. So when you talk to your partner or to other people, you don't judge them, but you see them as the most beautiful version of themselves. And then see what happens. Then see what happens. And if you're ever in doubt of why your partner might be acting like a fool to you, then try to be silent again, and then tune in and ask their higher self, what can I best do now to help my partner get through this? It could be withdrawing for a while, accepting that he or she is withdrawing from you, and not take it personal. Because if people are withdrawing, they need time to clear or clean something, and that is all right. They will come back. Yes. They will come back when they're ready. We also have to know that what I talked about before with energy, our thoughts, our feelings, our anticipations, what we expect, well, that is signals we send out. And the only way the universe can respond is by giving you just that. So what you focus upon grows. So if you expect constantly, my partner doesn't love me, he doesn't love me, he treats me bad, she doesn't care, she's always nagging, she's so da-da-da. Well, it's like a prayer. It's like a prayer. You send it out. You send out this prayer. And you expect that from him. That is an energy you send. And you might possibly just receive it back. So be aware of that. and also energetically. You have to know that many spiritual people choose on their spiritual journey to clean themselves up by, for example, choosing celibacy, meaning, for those who doesn't know this English word, no sex. And I'm not encouraging that. I think we should live as, I mean, if you want to, yes, do so. It's not why I'm saying it, but I will want to try to explain why people choose no sex on a spiritual journey. It's because one of the strongest forms of putting a certain energy into your system is when you have sex with other people, with your partner, hopefully. I mean, up to you, of course. But then you get their energy in your energy field. So you might have worked with yourself a long time, raising your vibrational level by feeding yourself, not only with good food, good things that you drink, good environments, and you raised your energy level to be light and calm and peaceful and happy and sweet and funny and da-da-da. Then you go to bed with someone with a low vibrational energy, you will get that energy first and foremost, but of course the other person can also get it from you. So if you're in a relationship and you are developing spiritually and trying to raise the level, but your partner keeps staying at the same level for years and years and years, it will drag you down. And not only your partner, but in all your relationships, your friendships, your groups, the groups of people you hang out with, when the things you watch in the television, they are energy. Like if you watch a certain show every week, if you watch a certain type of movies, if you watch pornographies, prostitutes or people on drugs, not feeling good, having a closed heart, movies about closed-hearted people, if you are going to bed with someone who is very superficial, and well, you're going to get these energies. If you always hang out with friends who are talking bad about other people, yeah, well, you are in that energy too. If you want to raise your vibrational level and help changing the world, you need to make conscious choices. And we can do that with our partners. Let me turn on the light now. I'm not going to continue for that much longer, but it's a little hard to see anything here. So just a second. It's not the best of light because I'm getting an operation tomorrow. So I'm here at my father's place. So it's all about your condition in everything you do. It's all about the condition you have. Which condition do you have energetically? I'm often told, oh, you are so sweet, you are so nice, it's so nice to hang out with you. You're such a, oh, you have such a beautiful soul, it's so this and that. And I'm like, yeah, because I'm really working with it. I'm not saying that I'm more or less beautiful, because I am falling just as often as anyone else. I'm not sitting here on a pedestal. But I am making conscious choices of what I watch. Well, I don't have a television. Even when I made many hundreds of programs for television, original television in Denmark here, I didn't watch one of them because I boycott television. I think, well, it's not that I never ever see it, but I don't have a television. The television are there always in my life, are always there only if someone else brings it in. And I remember I have this amazing friend. She was like, I've known her since I was 6, a very bright and beautiful person. How can you boycott television? There's something wrong with you. How do you know about the world? And, well, which world? And she was like, yeah, the news, what's going on with the politicians, etc. Why do I want to know what's going on with the politicians, I asked her. Well, to know which regulations, etc. Well, they are working on a certain level. But I don't see them raising the vibrational level. And if I watch them, I see someone who's trying to win conversations, to win power, and be in that energy, and that I'm not here for that. I always felt like I was a light worker. From very early age, I made hearts on I sewed in hand. I remember being 11 on a t-shirt. Actually on my grandmother's sewing machine, she helped me. I sewed a big red heart on a white t-shirt, my brother's old t-shirt. I always knew that I wanted to help the world become a better place by raising the level. And I just felt immediately being a channel and being a channel doesn't mean you're anything other than others. It just means someone who's actually listening to their intuition and to their higher self, who is in contact with their higher self. And our higher selves works from the 5D dimension, 5 dimension, that's D. We are in 3D in the physical world where we can feel, okay, physical, knock, knock. But being a channel is being in contact with the side of you, part of you that is all-knowing on another level and getting the information down. And I could see clearly that television, no, that is never going to help the world. No, I mean the politicians and all of these things. That the friend that said, how could you boycott television? Well, because I really listened to my higher self saying, no, it's not good for you. Okay, then I don't watch television. Then I don't see the news. And I just get the info from my partner or from my father. I'm like, can you give me the important info? So I get it. But I don't get all the noise. I don't get all the negativity. Again, we have to know that we attract these things. We become the energy, what we feed ourselves with. So if we constantly vibrate with stuff that is low and we don't understand, why do I keep on meeting these kind of guys? Well, if you always watch on YouTube or on the television shows about people like these things that's happening to you, and you expect it, and you're in your thought, you anticipate, well, the world is like that, well, that's what you're going to get. And I remember having, like, pornography, let's take that up again. I don't know if they're going to expel my video from saying that word. I remember in one of my ex-partners, I was like, if you're going to be with me, I would really prefer if you would not watch prostitutes, male prostitutes and female prostitutes, have sex and then come have sex with me, because I can feel your vibrational level is not nice. And when you're clairsentient, you feel the difference. And they were like, everyone else is doing it. Yeah, maybe everyone else is doing it, but just because everyone else is doing it, it doesn't make it right. And I remember having this, but there's something wrong with you, Maria. You have to go to a psychologist. And I'm like, I just want to unite with you sacredly so that our sexual intercourse is between the two of us. Yeah, very romantic, very nice, much nicer than knowing that my genitals are the genitals number 500 that you saw over the last 5 years. No, thank you. That energy is not for me. And the minute I set that boundary, I showed myself self-love. And I started attracting another partner that loved me and respected my boundaries more. And that is not to say that it has to be boring. But just because the rest of the world does it doesn't make it right. So if you feel your boundary is being met, then be authentic, be real, be you in your relationship and share the truth. You don't have to bang the other person in the head if that's where they are and what they want. Fine. But then walk away if it's not right for you. That is self-love, and you will start attracting more of this. Then I met another partner who showed me where I'm also off. Who showed me where I have sides that are no longer serving me on my journey, sides to my personality that I developed. And you can say and I inherited from my parents, from my environments, etc. But he showed me as a mirror. And I really discovered we are mirroring each other. And I showed him his. And it was hard. We took some time apart to work with it. And I took responsibility for my part. He took responsibility for his part. And that is a conscious relationship. We worked upon it separately. And then ready to unite again without this thing. So instead of just banging your partner in the head or saying, yo, you're such a stupid if, try to see that if you see the highest potential in them. Have a great evening, David, I just saw. If you see the highest potential in your partner, you're giving them the greatest gift of all, as I said before. Such an important gift. Let's see, because I made a few notes that are hard for me to actually see without my glasses, just to see if I said it all. I think I remember a lot, having made so many television programs. Also, like if you want to follow more of this that I just gave you here, then I have a channel, Maria and Rainbow Land. I'll put the link below, where you can follow me on YouTube. Of course, there's also astrology involved, but you can also, if you're not interested in the astrology part, you can just, not pay attention to that. While I'm looking at you can see the retreat thing here. Okay, so let's see if I have, if it's what you want in your life, if it's sacredness you want in your life, then be sacred in all that you do. If it's truthfulness and honesty and you want in all of your life, then be honest and truthful in all that you do. You cannot nag about, I think my partner is lying. If you are lying, look inwardly always. If you have a problem with someone on the outside, the answer is inside. Find a routine where you can do that. We are peeling onions when we are born. When we are born, we come pure to this world as babies, completely pure and innocent. Like in a condition of what people may call pure love, may call God, may call whatever they may call it. There's so many words for this condition, it can be confusing. Then our parents, our society, our environment, people around us, create layers upon layers upon layers around us like an onion. And then when we start being conscious, and that's what I am trying to encourage you to do, when we start being conscious, we can peel off these layers. And this has been said, I'm not saying anything new, I know that, but I'm saying it as a reminder to myself and also to you. Then you can peel it off and get back. Anyone who's my age, and I'm soon enough turning 40. Yeah, it's getting even better year by year. I love the aging. I love these wrinkles. Because that is also just a product of our society. That youth is the only way, we used to also cherish wisdom and age. Well, anyways. We can peel the onion and get back to the innocent side of ourselves and have a much healthier life. So this is a retreat sign. For anyone that wants to go to a similar retreat, you get this on. In case you go into the forest and you meet someone, you just point this out. But you can get that on the Heartfulness Meditationcenter ashram, Vrads Sande ashram or Vrads Sande Meditation Center. I can also put a link towards it. But you actually have to be a meditator within this meditational system, which is made by volunteers. I'm going to India for 2 months in January and in February. I'm getting an operation tomorrow. I'm going for 1 week to see my partner, my family in Tokyo. And then I'm going to get back to Denmark to get another operation at the end of this month in the left knee, right knee, left knee. And and the body is connected to emotional things as well. But that's another video, another story. Then I'm going to India for 2 months to become a certified prefect. It's called a heartfulness meditation instructor. And whenever I'm in Esbjerg in Denmark, I'm able to give free, of course it's for free, and it's kind of like an education, so it's not just something you just get, you only get it if you work with yourself and are dedicated enough to have a clear enough channel for being this kind of a prefect, which you can call a kind of an instructor of meditation. And I can do that when I'm in Denmark, in Esbjerg, or in, also in the middle of Jutland, etc. And in Japan, I will also, of course, do it. But there are heartfulness free instructors all over the world. So a good way, it doesn't have to be heartfulness, of course, but a good way to get in contact with your higher self and stay in contact is not only having a silent retreat, as I talked about. It's to have a regular daily routine where you work upon your energy level, so that you can attract what you want and do what you came here for. And this is just one way of doing it, because when you sit with a prefect in this kind of meditation, you get lifted, helped. But you can do it in many ways, but I encourage you to clean your mind and your thoughts. Clear the old things, because they are dominating your life. And if you have glasses on in a certain color, you only see the world in this color. You know, you have to make it bright again, the glasses, so you can see out of them. And how do you do that? Yeah, by daily practice. Some people say, oh, I tried meditation, it doesn't work for me. Well, how many times did you try it? Well, I couldn't stop thinking. No, because the first times you meditate, the many first times, is clearing out. You know, it's like if you didn't wash for 2 years, imagine that. If you didn't wash for 2 years, how much, and you were a farmer, how much dirt would there be under your nails? How much grease would be in your hair and smell under your arms? You may have to wash more than one time to get it off, you know. It's the same with the mind and the noise. The many first times you meditate is a time to clear it. So yes, 1,000 thoughts will come through your head. You just receive them as an uninvited guest and say, thank you, no thank you. And let it pass on as clouds on the sky. It just keeps moving. And like that, you clean and clear. Then the effects will come. But you have to be dedicated. If you just do it once a week, yes, you alter your vibration. Then you go out in your life and feed yourself with the same thing over again. Then you're going to drop again. If you want to alter your life, you have you discipline your mind by using these more meditational conditions all the time in all that you do. Even if you're dedicated enough as I am. You use it, you take it into all that you do. Like when I listen to people, that is also important. And I have a bad habit of lifting this finger. It looks like I feel like I'm wise. I'm not. I'm just channeling knowledge that I have available to all of us. When I talk with people, I really practice being able to talk in that condition. I stay in the condition that I have for my meditation, where my heart is open. And what does that mean? It means that my central balance point, or what do you call it in English? Tyngdepunkt, gravity point, is not in my head. It's here. I feel. I receive the other person. Not always. Of course, if I'm super stressed, I don't. And I'm up here. But when I'm capable of doing it and remembering it, I meet people looking in their eyes and feeling them with my heart. And can you imagine the connection you have with others? This is not... First of all, it's still in the condition of thinking and feeling others like my brother or sister. I'm not having a sexual connection here. I'm having a heart connection. So what you saw before When, for example, David, the filmmaker from LA, who's also spiritual, he wrote, I love you. Then some people might think, doesn't she have a partner? Yes, I do. But he is capable of meeting people on the brother-sister level. And once you've tried it, you know that this is going to be what moves the world towards more peace. If every one of us can stay in these conditions when we talk to each other and really listen. Sacred relationships, not only your partner, but what I talked about before, sacred unions, sacred relationships, is also based upon being able to listen 100% open. How often are you in a situation, in a conversation, where you actually feel, hi Serena, beautiful soul too, Swedish lightning there, logging on. Thank you, welcome back, she says. She knows that I've been on the silent retreat. How many times have you been in a conversation where you felt like the other person was just waiting to give their point of view? Many times, probably. Because it becomes a mental argument about showing your ego, who you're right, and you want to share your thing. If you start being receptive, and since Serena joined, I will use the word yin energy, because we always talk about that. She's a yin yoga teacher. I also heartfulness yoga teacher, but yin energy is the yin yang. Masculine energy, feminine energy. If you don't know, it's nothing to do with if you're a man or a woman, a male or female. Yin and yang is about you integrating both sides in you. The ability to yang, act, talk, rationalize, daylight, the masculine energy, not male, masculine energy. And also the yin energy, to receive love, to receive help, to receive intuition, to be vulnerable, to have the more chaotic, maybe even sometimes creative side where you receive. Then you can listen with the heart, because you dare to just open yourself up to who you're talking with. I tried it today with 3 people. One I know quite well. The other one I know, well, I tried it with more because I also spoke to my loved one. So of course my heart was like wide open automatically. But these people, and then someone I didn't know, and another one I just knew of. Of course I don't tell it, but I watch as they're speaking, and I keep an open heart, and I stay in the condition that I have when I meditate. And I just saw how their face expression changed. This silence, this peacefulness was being transferred to them automatically as I was speaking. No, as they were speaking and I was listening, of course. And at the same time, I also tried to focus upon their highest potential, with one of them. And I just saw how she was going from one state of feeling like a victim and slowly changing, seeing the possibilities, instead of seeing the condition of being a victim to others, seeing how beautiful she was, because I saw her, so I always see her as beautiful. Actually, if you really take a close look around, everyone is really beautiful. That's the truth. Everyone. So, let's see if I got the whole thing. My God, this is just another thing. There is no such thing as a lie. The truth is always felt by our higher selves. So there's no need to lie. Be authentic. Be real. Our intuition can always tell. And we create something we don't want when we lie. Of course, if we hurt somebody, there's always exceptions. If someone's standing there with and we're not able to see the beauty of them, and they ask, do I look pretty? Then don't say it, because it's a matter of you not seeing into their beauty. But you know what I mean. Let's see if there was anything I didn't say. I think I said what is important here. Yes. And again, if you don't love yourself 100%, ruthlessly, fearlessly, then you cannot expect it from others. You start with yourself. That is the whole trick. I know that I always say it, but remember, don't follow trends. Follow your heart. You can follow the channel if you want to. Maria and Rainbow Land. I give free horoscopes for every sign in Spanish and English every week. And if you're not into astrology, I don't think you believe in it, then essentials like these come through as well. So you can just, over here, the star part, but just listen to the essentials. Maria and Rainbow Land, a link below. And I thought if anyone wanted to, we just end this with getting in contact with our bodies, so that we can get out of our heads. And just to show you an example, you're welcome, Pernille. Just to give you an example of how it feels when you're in contact with your body. Because we have to remember just one last thing. Oh, she cannot shut up, can she? That was my higher self doing like this to me. Mind, body, soul, holistic, connected. So if you want to get out of your head and into your heart, start getting into your body. Start relaxing your body. Then it's easier for you to meditate. So in Heartfulness, we start with relaxation, where we relax our whole body, 5 minutes, and then we're ready to just go into the heart and focus upon the light, or whatever. It's not necessarily that you need to say that to yourself, but that's a longer story. If you're able to disconnect, and you can do so. But let's just start, if you want to just close your eyes. Breathe. Feel your breath. Feel your feet on the ground if you're sitting down. Notice the room you're sitting in. Start slowly to direct your attention inwardly to you. Just gently ask your higher self, or you ask yourself, to give yourself the time now to let go of every thought and just get into your body and expect that this happens. Should any thought come in, you just treat it like an unwanted visit. You notice it, and then you just kindly ask it to leave. Feel your feet. Just notice sensation in your feet. Put your attention to your feet. Then take your attention to your ankles. Slowly move your attention up through the lower part of your leg, Feel the muscles relax. Go up to your knees. Feel any tension there, and kindly expect them to relax. Move your attention to your thighs. Feel how nice it is for you to be there with your focus and your intention, making your thighs relax. Move your attention to the lower part of your torso, to your behind, to the stomach. Relax your stomach. Move it to your chest area. Feel how your chest relaxes. Now we're at the shoulders. Feel how they sink and drop. Feel your back from the lower part of your back. You slowly move your attention up. Just feel it. Feel your spine, the center of your spine, or just the spine. From the buttocks and all the way up. Slowly up through the spine until you reach the neck. You relax your neck. Back side of your neck. Then you feel from your shoulders how your arms start to relax from the upper part of your arms and all the way down the lower part of your arms, your wrists, your hands and your fingers. You feel your face. Release any tension around your eyes, your nose, your mouth. And you let your jaw drop. Feel tension in your lips. You let it go around your ears, forehead. Feel the whole head now, the top of the head, and the whole head. Relax. Try to see now if you can put your attention on your whole body at the same time. Just be in your body. Now would be the time where I would meditate upon the heart. Hi, Lena. Just send someone your way, Lena, for heartfulness meditation. Lena Hassi Vilslev just joined, it says. So if you're interested in a meditation here in Esbjerg, you can write to her. if anywhere in the world you just write to me, I have contacts, or can get you in contact with this kind of free meditation with instructors all over the world. So the final thing I want to say before ending is silence has the power to heal and transform you and get you back home to you. Thank you for watching. Don't follow trends, follow your heart. Enjoy.
Don't follow trends, follow your heart.